Hey Rebels. Okay, so today we are going to do a bit of story time about myself. So I'm not quite sure how to start this off, or should I say out? Start this out. But a lot has come to my mind to reflect on this early morning, this gloomy day. I love gloomy days. Repentance. Oftentimes we feel that just because we repent, because we have identified what the issue is, that that's the end of the story of our trial and error, of being able to see and identify. Now, I'm going to jump all over the place and I hope that you can follow me, but due to the fact that this has been something, so many things, imageries, words, feelings, and things that has just been inside of me, I've never heard myself the way that I heard myself today. When we go to readings and we look at readers, sometimes you feel that the reader is just too good to be true, that there's something that they're hiding. And our ego either supports what we're hearing or our ego runs from it with a backpack full of judgment. Oh, that person, they just feel that they're so good and that they act like they never been through things. Anyone who is sharing a story has been through more than you can ever imagine of them, because all you're experiencing is that person and who they are in that moment. And I will appreciate if you all look at me that same way. All you see of me and all you realize of me is what you are getting from me in that moment. No, it is not to be your concern to crowd up your life and your schedule plans to try to figure me out. Though sometimes your mind may go there. What made her that way? What got her to this place? There are so many aspects of a person that I'm literally going to share something about myself within this read. And there's still going to be so many parts of me that are intertwined in that. Now, I said I was going to jump all over the place, and let's jump someplace else with that. And you connect these dots for yourself how you need to. But the entanglement that life is, you're so focused on yourself even when you're not focused on yourself. Whether you're focused on your comfort or whether you're focused on trying to figure out how to remove yourself from these places of discomfort. When living in coexistence with others, are you paying attention more to how you feel, the understanding that you want to have, engage? Or are you paying more attention to that other person, their comfort, how they want to be experienced, how you want to be experienced with them? Now, I know I keep on telling this story about, and it's not a story, it's not a fictional thing. Should I say, I continuously find myself sharing this experience with you all about a friend of mine who was a friend of mine for over 10 years. And one day on my birthday weekend, this person decided to draw attention towards someone who I was just fucking around with, someone who I dealt with for over 20 years off and on. This guy who I was dealing with at the time, he and I came together, we went apart, we came together, we went apart. And this friend of mine who was not there during those experiences of those times to see my tears, to experience to experience his knowledge and awareness of our situation. She was genuinely just going off of the information of how her life was and what things looked like to her. But during that birthday weekend, that's me giving her grace. During that birthday weekend, she drew so much attention towards, you know what, I feel that you should leave him alone. And I could not for the life of me in that point in time understand why is it that she's so focused on what I am doing, even though what I'm doing, who I'm doing, and why I'm spending time with that person, I've made sure was playing no effect on my relationship with her. I did not bring to her my tears. I did not bring to her my doubt. I did not bring to her my concerns. I made sure that the energy and the spaces that I shared with her and anyone else in relations to her or anybody else had nothing to do with any energy that I was experiencing with him. But she brought it up as cause of attention for herself. And that's as clearly as I could ever get of it. She herself was bothered by the fact that I was giving him any attention at all. Now, yes, I could say she was probably fucking him behind my back. She was probably this, that, and other. It's none of my concern. Then it was none of my concern now. But what I want to draw attention to is when she decided to take us out on the balcony because she did not want to hear, allow her adult child to hear the conversations that we were having. She continued to say that, well, should I say she continued to bring up her points of why I should leave this guy alone, which was so amazing to me because I share nothing about him. There was even this time where she sent me a picture from his Facebook dating app, from his Facebook dating profile and asked me if it was him. Why are you going to search for him? How is it that he came across your thing? Okay, yeah, we could say it was the algorithm. But anyway, so the fact that she was bringing up things about him as if she's done her own research, which was not her business, that I introduced her to needing her assistance in. I said to her, after all my silence of just listening to her, I said to her, you do not know what I need from this situation. And that pissed her off. After that, it did not matter the fact that we've been friends or how I supported her or even how I allowed her to know parts of my life, because I've been said to be a very mysterious person. I've been said to be a very secretive person. I've been said to be the type of person who does not speak directly, fluently for others to gauge their understanding of what it is that I'm saying. I've been said to be someone who speaks in subliminals. Yes, I definitely do. But when I told her, like, you don't know what I need from this situation. Now, that happened years ago. And I remember how she got upset. It was like this entity just showed itself. I was a bitch. I was this. I was that. I was the other. There was no love there anymore because for whatever reason, she was not getting the outcome and a response of me that she wanted, that she felt that she can convince me of. Now, I've shared with her plenty of stories of experiences of what I was, who I used to be, the things that I've endured. So let me help you understand this a little bit better. The person who I once was in my younger years, my teen years, my early 20s even, I used to deal with people who were very open and honest about who they were, who were very open and honest about the deception that they were doing behind other people's back. And that in turn made me feel likable. I wouldn't even say accepted, but I would say likable because there was something special about the fact that they can share with me the things that they would not share with their spouse, the things that they would not share with their family members, their friends. I literally was so prideful in the acceptance of, well, so long as you tell me the truth, that's good enough for me. Not realizing that I was literally setting myself up for my own karma to have to deal with. Because picture this, someone telling you how they are being deceptive to others, and you don't remove yourself from those shared spaces. You don't remove yourself from those conversations. You show yourself to have no integrity. You show yourself to not have a care in the world about anybody else. So long as you're telling me the truth, who gives a damn what the hell they're going through? Now, the thing about me then, I didn't even have that energy of giving a damn at all about what was being shared, so long as it was the truth. I didn't have it in me at all to give a damn about how other people could be affected by the truths that I was hearing. I did not give a damn at all to even try to help them find other ways of living in happiness or peaceful coexistence with those who they were deceiving. I was there. I got what I wanted, even though I didn't know that it was what I wanted. I was there. I got what I needed, even though it wasn't even something that I knew that I needed. Me, who I was back then, I was literally just there. It's something in this message that there is a spirit, an entity that does not want me to share it, but I'm being told to keep on going. I wouldn't even say caught in the matrix. I was so dead inside. I had no yearning for anything. I had no outlook as far as the future. I was the type of person back then that I felt at any given time, death would come for me. I felt that at any given time, it would be no surprise to me if even a random person decided to take me out. Because though I was not conscious of how I was not being appropriate in my discipline of walking a straight and narrow path, I was just there. I was dead inside. I didn't feel that I had anything to live for. I was just doing stuff just to be doing stuff. Someone asked me to do something, I would quickly say yes, just to prove that I can do it. But then again, I didn't care to prove that I can do it. It was just something for me to do. So I'm sharing this with you because back to the word repentance. I have had those brawling out, crying tears late at night and during the middle of the day, the brightest, sunniest, shining days. Crying to God, crying to Source. Why does my life have to be this way? And the fact that I did not evaluate my life as I was going through it. Me repenting for the things that I was aware of. The repentance, the motions, the activation of it all wound up being years of lessons. When I got up and I told that woman, you don't know what I need from this situation. I didn't even know what I needed from that situation with that guy. And yes, Source showed me that I needed to reap my karma, my bad karma, that I was also being shown how good of a person I was and how much better than the situation I was, the situation that I chose to be a part of. We cast so much judgment on others, but we don't often look at ourselves. And there's been oftentimes messages that you and I and all have received where we're being told that our past versions of ourselves cannot come where we're going. And Spirit said, though that is correct, it is also wrong. Because in order to remember what version of you can't come, you have to remember the why. You have to remember the inactivity of yourself that is not in alignment with where it is that you are going. Now, will I ever allow myself to do anything so blindly without reading the fine print, without understanding the disclaimers? Not at all. Because due to who I was in my younger years, as much as I thought, as much as I felt, because it wasn't a thought, thanks for the correction, Spirit, it wasn't a thought, it was a feeling. I always felt that other people were doing wrong towards me because they just wouldn't let me be. because they were trying to teach me something. And I didn't understand why that lesson was necessary, because how I saw myself then, I didn't feel that I had a reason to continue. I didn't know why the source or God kept me here. So to be able to look at myself back then and how dead I was on the inside, the lack of direction that I did not allow myself to have clarity of, the potential that others saw of me that I couldn't see of myself, because I had so many entity attachments, because I had so much that I didn't think that I would be here long enough to even apply to myself. Spirit is saying, let go of all judgment. Though we live in a duality, so even in letting go of all judgment, the only judgment that you should live in coexistence with is the judgment of yourself. If others do not accept you walking away with grace and saying, hey, I respect that that's your choice, but it's not mine, run far the fucking away. Run far the fuck in away. I don't know what you get from what I just shared, but I hope that you got something. And the deeper I dive into that message with myself, about myself, the more I am going to come here and share that with you. Spirit wanted me to share that with you to let you know how confusing untangling yourself from hardships can be. It doesn't always make sense when you share it. It doesn't always make sense when you're looking at it. But something about it makes sense to let you know why it is that you're going through what you're going through. Spirit is also saying that there is a need for you to stop and to refuse yourself from trying to save other people from their karma. Just like I told that woman, you don't know what I need from this situation. Had I took the route that she wanted me to take, yes, there could have been other aspects of my life that could have seemed to flourish, but it would not have been mine, because that would have been things and spaces that would have been handed to me based off the back of me being connected to her. But in that moment, I felt such assurance of my spirit when I told her, you don't know what I need from that situation. What I needed from that situation and what I gained from that situation was me being able to remember everything about my past self that I avoided looking at. For me to allow the karma of those hardships to be worked through and worked out. Now, no, she did not owe me her presence as I was going through these changes. She did not owe me her presence, nor her understanding, nor her conversation, nor her support as I was reflecting on myself and my past occurrences. When going into hermit mode, it does not mean that you're isolating yourself behind four walls. It does not mean that you are not sharing spaces and experiences with others. It means that you are in such a deep dive with yourself that you are willing to face those dark aspects of yourself, that you are willing to shine a light, that you are accepting of shining a light in those dark corners of your own memory. Being able to connect the understanding of not just where you want to go, why you are what you are now, but how you get to this place that you are at now. It's like allowing yourself to go through the blues of it all. Hermit mode is not always easy, but it's a call. It's a calling for a reflection of whom you are And what is it that you dare yourself to be capable of being? Because no, you are not always going to be your past. Though your past will come and remind you of how there are cords that you need to cut as far as what it is that you accept and why you once upon a time accepted it. And sometimes the answer is just simply you were dead inside. You showed no interest in being educated and learning about yourself, and that you were living life so much wrapped up in what other people had going on and how other people felt comfortable within their perception of you. Spirit wants you to look at your deeper meaning of everything that you went through, of everything that you've been through, those parts of you that are not at the forefront of who you are any longer. Just like it's been said, you don't look like what you've been through because you don't wear it. Because there's a story, there's experience to tell and be shared about you that people won't make time for, that people frankly don't have time for. So this is why Spirit also says within Hermit, it is intentional that no one is around you and that no one can hear you. Because for those of you who may have heard the beginning part of this message and they ask themselves, what the hell is she saying? Exactly. That's my hermiting space that I need to go through. For those of you who felt that you could relate to what I was sharing, or you did receive something from what it was that I was sharing, that is just an outlet for you to proceed on in your own space and healing and hearing yourself. So no, readers don't have it all figured out. Oftentimes we come here and we give the message as the message is coming out. Sometimes we come and we give things based off the back of our own experiences and understanding. But no one person is greater than another. But the greatest experience that you will ever have is with yourself, and it's for you to make the best of your own experience that you can. And that is your assignment, for you to deliver yourself from all your anxiety, from all those times that you fear that someone may be seeing into your soul in that hidden place that you try to hide all the information about you, for you to be comfortable with who it is that you've been, who it is that you are, and who it is that you are becoming, and understand that the only thing that can stop you is you. Now, I had a hell of a day yesterday. I wanted to put in a lot of work, and at the moment that, I was organizing myself to put in so much work, all of a sudden hell just broke loose. And hell tried to stop me. And I had to understand for myself that no, it's not always necessary for me to show up as bubbly. Though even while hell broke loose, I was still bubbly in that energy, like, look at that. And that's the same way Spirit is saying you are okay, you are fine to look at yourself. Don't dwell on, oh my goodness, why did I do that to myself? No, you can ask that question, but why be in the sorrow space of, why did I do that to myself? No, you did that. Why did it happen? What needs to be changed? There's an energy shift that is occurring. So many people that were on top are now finding themselves looking at what lies beneath, avoiding others from finding those skeletons that lie beneath everything that they have exuded themselves to be. Why Spirit wanted me to use that word, I don't know. But maybe it touched you. There's a prophet that is being collected right now. And I'm not sure what that is for you. But Spirit said, now we can grab these cards, because there is more that can be shared. What do we want with these three? So Spirit is saying we're going to grab these three. And lay them just like that. And then we're going to come over here. And the reason why I'm guiding you through what it is that I'm doing is because the dead silence that could be had. It's necessary. But at times, it's unnecessary. I just laying them down how I'm being told to. And then we're going to look at this table and see what it is that Spirit wants to be further said. Love disguise. Go beyond superficial looks and see who they truly are. Ain't that special? See, I have a difficult time staying in the dwelling place of emotional hardship. I've heard other people's opinions of me, that they feel that I'm faking the funk, putting on a facade. I don't know what a facade is, but a facade. That people tend to come around me to challenge me, to get me in an emotional space. And it's like, no, I am in an emotional space all the time because I am listening to my emotions versus actually allowing them to be spewed out and disorganized. Just as the beginning of this read, I could have came in with bullet points all prepared. The Spirit said, no, just go for it. Just come out. Just raw dog it. And that's what I did. Because knowing myself and knowing you all, I know that if the fact of organizing yourself, you will be putting in so much more time organizing how you want things to actually be versus actually applying yourself and just putting it out there. You know when to pull back, trust it. You know when to push forward, trust it. And oftentimes pushing forward means just going for it. Now, looking at these cards here, you have to control yourself about the things that you feel judgment will be forced upon you by others. Tame your anger and your frustrations about people not seeing you the way that you want them to grasp onto the understanding of the story that you're trying to share. The Spirit said that you're not trying to share, that you are sharing. There are so many aspects of you. Take time to heal yourself. No one will understand you as well as you understand yourself. The entanglement that is life. Spirit said go back to that part of the message. Okay. The entanglement that is life. So with that woman, right? That moment that was had with her, that last moment that I had with her, though she got angry, though all of a sudden she forgot about all the love that she ever had for me, and she got completely disrespectful of me for her reasons, that moment was a catalyst of change, I know, for the both of us. Because I could reflect on how it was necessary for her. But I also know that things are a lot deeper than what I can assume and that I can be sure of. And here we are years later, and I hadn't thought to myself, due to that situation even, with him or her, about myself in the past and how this was my karma being reaped. I have literally been reaping all that I've sown. I entered a situation with someone, with this guy who I knew was not going to be forthcoming with the truth. Where I saw his hesitancy and how he liked to play mental games with people, even though that motherfucker was slow. Okay? Because he was not as smart as he thought that he was. He did not even realize how much it was that I paid attention to about him, how I've studied his ways and hers as well. but back to me. And that's what Spirit wants us to pay attention to. Back to me, back to you. We can point out other people's flaws all day. We can be interested in what's going on with them, what's their story, what they've been through. We tend to tell stories about other people so well, the ins and outs, what they needed to learn. But when it comes to ourselves, we get tongue-tied and twisted up. The discomforting space that is, the healing space that opportunity is. It's not necessarily that you missed opportunities, because even the opportunities that you feel that you've missed, and I'm speaking to myself as I'm going through this read as well, because once again, no one's greater than another person. The missed opportunities that you feel that you have overlooked, that you missed out on, they are coming back around. Spirit said these missed opportunities has everything to do with you healing yourself, you seeing yourself, you valuing the experiences and the enlightenment that Spirit is bringing to you to be able to value yourself. It's not even just oh my goodness, look at all that I've made it through and how strong I was. Motherfucker, I should have been dead by now. It's not even just that. It's Spirit wants you to look at how it is that you did not value yourself. So therefore you position others to feel that you were an opportunity to be had, because they did not have to put in the work with you that they would have to put in with someone who did value themselves. So yes, you missed out on being a valuable person for yourself. You were definitely a valuable presence for others, because you permitted them to take shortcuts. You permitted them to not have integrity or a conscience with how they moved with you. You just accepted what it was that you can get. You accepted their shortcuts because you felt that that was as good as it could get. When if you would have put in more education with yourself of who you are, why you chose lack, you wouldn't have had to go through as much as you're going to have to go through now. And the reason why it feels like you're going through so much now is because you've lived so much life already. And you feel like this rush of trying to catch up to who it is that you had to be. As Spirit said, taking it back to school. If you did not do the assignments in the first quarter that you were supposed to do, in order to graduate, you're going to have to do those assignments before graduation. So whether you did the assignments then or you do them now, they would have still had to been done. So Spirit says, stop running yourself rampant, trying to catch up. Spirit said it should be a lot easier for you to fulfill these assignments now. Because had you did them in the first quarter, you would have been drawn back to that first quarter. Okay, what's the relatability? What's the relatability? Though you're still doing that now. What's the relatability of your past versus your present? There are certain parts of yourself that you skipped over what you needed to invest in. Spirit say you get all the time in the world, so it seems. But they are begging you not to push that to the side because you think that you have all the time in the world. Invest in you now. Invest those hard conversations with yourself now. The Six of Cups and the Summer Solstice. Let go of control and celebrate your life. Spirit, can we have this card right here just to exhaustion. Let go of control and celebrate your life. It seems that this message is getting rather repetitive, though I see here with the devil is definitely about to take a turn. You are discomforted by things not being the dead weight that it has been for you. That space of you being able to complain about how things have always been for you, even though it's not a forceful complaining space of, oh my goodness, and all that snappy, overly emotional, trying to show the desperation of your exhaustion. Spirit is saying that this is more so about you draining the unnecessary fluids from your body. There's a lot of weight that you've kept with yourself that is no longer needed. You are so uncomfortable because there's so much that's being shown to you that wants to live and reside within you that is new furnishing, new ways of seeing things, new ways of living the experiences. Spirit said those tactics that you're so used to are trying to let you go, but you keep on holding on to them. So your past versions of yourself is actually in alignment and it's accepting that it's no longer necessary in the ways that it was necessary. That past version of yourself is saying that you do not have to keep on reliving those experiences and the ways that you used to do things. It's just a story to be told. But you have to be in the presence of the experiences that you're living. Accept your past for the story that it is, the fable that it is. Just like Disney, I don't like Disney, but just like Disney, there's a lot of costumes, there's a lot of disguises, it's a lot of societal manipulation. But those things don't fit with you anymore. You've been restricting yourself. You've been restricting yourself from being able to see how loyal you can actually be to yourself. To let go of the physical, the emotional, and even the spiritual abuse. Spirit said, get into hermit mode with yourself and reevaluate your stories versus how you are actually experiencing life now. And ask yourself, what else could those things have meant? How else were those things connected with each other? How often were you upset, disappointed, frustrated, or just on some fuck that person type stuff because they did what they were supposed to do by putting you in a place of discomfort with yourself, and so you can see yourself, see your codependency on somebody else's validation, see your codependency on somebody else giving you that gratification of, oh, you must be right. How many times has somebody told you that you must be right, but you knew that you were wrong? And because they did not come out and tell you directly or even in their own awareness that you were wrong, you thought less of them. So Spirit is saying there is choices that needs to be made about you, because everything that I'm explaining sounds to be that slick-witted nature of you want what you want, but you don't want it when it's given to you. Unspoken needs and deep confusion. Spirit said you're in a season where you have been getting what you asked for. It's just not being presented in the package that you expect for it to be. You want it cut perfectly, you want it clean, you want it with no problems, but Spirit is saying and constantly trying to point out to you throughout this message, you have to complete these assignments in order for you to be accepting of what it is that you've been asking for. Because all this hardship that you are going through is part of what it is that you've been asking for. Now, yes, we can go get our driver's license. We can learn how to drive a car. The Spirit said they are building you in a way that not many others are being built. Not only will you get the license, not only will you know how to drive the car, they want you to be able to build that car in its complete operating function. Now, so many others, they just get to get the license, drive the car, they purchase the car, they know how to get the money for the car, they are out in the open road. But the overall message the Spirit is trying to give you is that if that car is to break down, they want you to know how to fix it yourself. They want you to know exactly the parts and the pieces that have broken down, that needs attention to be given to, where the attention needs to be directed towards. We hear this thing of, if one part in a car is not working, that at least 10 or 12 other parts are going to start being out of whack. Spirit wants you tied in so tightly with this gift, with this presence, with everything that it is that they know that you are deserving of, that if one part starts to malfunction, then none of the other parts will be shaken. So for those of you who have children, I'm seeing children are involved. Remember that ripple effect. As we just got done speaking about the car, that ripple effect. You need to learn how to time manage, but also budget your time into appropriate places. So all aspects, even your children, your work, your everything. And I would say I've definitely been going through that lesson as of most recently. That lesson has been definitely slapping me in the face. As much as I would want to be here and read all day, I got babies to attend to. I got a household to attend to. I got bills that need to be taken care of. I have this, that, and the others and other things. I have other projects that need to be attended to. And we could call it just 24 hours in a day. But it's going to be a lot of back and forth. So for you, as well as for myself, what Spirit is telling me is that you have to be okay with leaving something incomplete, knowing that you will be back to complete it. Because if you let one thing fall apart, so many other things can easily dissipate. So you have to be able to divide your time. I know for me, especially, like I said, I would love to just sit here and read all day. There's projects that I have going on that no one else knows about, that it used to frustrate me not being able to sit there and just complete it in that one sitting. But other things need attention as well. And honey, with the chariot at the bottom. Success control. Success control. But shut up. Success control. So, controlling your anger, controlling the ripple effect, letting go of being so controlling and needing things to be boxed in with perfection. Spirit wants you to take that mask off and realize that success control is about you being satisfied with what you have been able to get done. So yes, do go into Hermit. And I know I keep on pointing at this devil every time I say go into Hermit, because that's where you need to be. That's what you need to be giving attention to. You need to allow yourself to let the devil not have that control over you by your fear, by your refusal to look at the things that you have been fearful of looking at. No matter how fucking confusing it sounds, do understand Spirit is going to guide you in such a way that it's going to make sense to you, even if once the words come out of your mouth, it does not make sense to others. Now, Spirit is telling me I'm definitely going to go back to that example, that story, that reoccurring experience that I continue to share, because I am a vessel of example of how insane this shit really looks and sounds to others. It doesn't always make sense to others, but does it make sense to your spirit? Does it have your spirit feeling that you are heading in the right direction and that you are building a discernment that nobody else got to get? You just got to get it. I think about people who, they only want to like a video or watch a video or consume certain products and consumership because other people want it. This is about your sacred individuality. So baby, all this, look, we can easily say, oh, it's coming in strong, it's coming in quick, it's coming in strong. You got the right direction. Honey, you got the right one, and the right one is you. Focus on you. Focus on you. That does not mean that you are not giving attention to others, honey. Shut up, Spirit. That does not mean that you are not giving attention to others. That just means, I have yet to read this card. That just means that in order to give attention to others, in order to understand the attentions that you are giving to others, you need to understand yourself. Stop understanding them more than you understand yourself. Through understanding yourself, you can understand them more, true enough. But you are building your discernment. All right, here with observation, it says elevation. Stay alert and observe. No, stay alert and observant of others' behaviors as well as your own. Be prepared to protect yourself from those who may have ulterior motives. Weigh your options. Okay, weigh your options and actions, and make sure to act wisely. Rebels, let me go ahead to get you out of here. I felt that a lot was said, and it's a lot for you to reflect on with yourself. Once again, I'm just being used as an example to step out of that whole perfectionist character that so many of us really try to exude. So many of us try to be perfectionists. Okay, the only way that I'm going to put myself on camera or in, public or whatever is if I feel that everything is perfect. And then you have anxiety about what you forgot at home and what isn't perfect. Spirit said, just put it out there and just know that you know when a boundary is about to be crossed and that you will pull yourself back, or that you know that a boundary is about to be crossed and whose boundary is it and what should be done about it. So then you have the bear with strength. The bear symbolizes a strong source of support in times of difficulty and adversity. It may be time for you to stand for your own beliefs or your truths, your strength and confidence. You are free to roam at will and follow your path. Baby, listen. What is it that I even want you to listen to? I want you to listen to yourself. I want you to listen to yourself. I want you to hear yourself. I want you to nurture yourself. I want you to, for you. I want you, anything that you do, I want you to do it for you. That's something else that I have learned on my healing, during my times of healing, is how I talk to other people. When you say, hey, I want you to XYZ. How about, hey, for you, you should want to. It's not about me, though it can easily become about me. Because through you, I can then see parts of myself without the envy. Well, at least for me, without the envy, without the strife. I'm proud of you in all ways that you challenge yourself. I'm proud of you in all ways that you live above and beyond what you thought to be your own capabilities. I'm proud of you for your attempts. I'm proud of you for your success. I'm proud of you for every part of you that you are truthful and honest with yourself, even when you are in a state of mind of confusion. The fact that you have tried, the fact that you have succeeded, I am proud of you for being the authentic version of yourself that you are now, for being honest about the authentic version of yourself that you were then, for you being able to close chapters and being willing to reopen them when you realize that, hey, I missed a part. I didn't realize that that was an important aspect of myself to have to see and look at. So rebels, let's get you out of here. But they said we're gonna take this card, and we're gonna take this card, and we're gonna take this card. Damn it. And then we're gonna take this card. I'm telling you, make me feel like a hoarder at times. Okay. Queen of Cups. Denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. Okay. And then it says protection. Call back your power. Cut the cords. Soul retrieval. And then guilt. Baby, I don't be giving a damn who make it through these entire reads, because the fact that I have done these reads, and at the ass end of each read, Spirit said, no, she know what she talking about. She know what she talking about. Because look at this guilt card. That's all the horrors of your past. Like, oh my goodness, that was me, and I can't let anybody know who I used to be. No, you ain't got to let them know. Live it. And if they ask the question, you can share it if you want to, or you could show it to them even better. Sometimes it shows up as in, don't fuck with me. And sometimes it shows up as in, you can learn from me. Or sometimes it shows up even as, you didn't even know that you had anything to teach. But it shows. And it cannot be denied. So Queen of Cups, like I said, I don't care who make it through the end of these reads. Because baby, I love it. I enjoy it. I do. Like, yeah. So Queen of Cups, stop being in denial. You are not always sweet and, just kind and everything else. You done been through a lot of shit. And it's a lot of shit that you done been through that has made you be submissive to pleasing other people, because you know the pain. I'm seeing a crack in her cup. The pain that you've endured within your times of loneliness, your times of being overlooked, your times of other people trying to control you, and them roping you down, you roping yourself down. I'm even looking at how this tidal wave seems to be coming from her head, and then that coming from it. Honey, be with your emotions. Be with your logic. It's going to be an entangled web. The entanglement. This is oftentimes why I'm talking all the time about connecting the dots. It's going to be dots that are going to have more strings coming from them than others. And Spirit said for some of you, those dots that have more strings coming from them than others are dots that you have been giving too much attention to. That you need to start paying attention to some of those other dots. Because one dot has 2 strings coming from it, while another dot has 1,000 coming from, that's your blame space. Give some attention to that dot that has very few strings attached to it, and start connecting them in reference to you. Because I can go on and on about what this dot mean and that dot mean and what that dot can't mean. But Spirit said, shut me up by saying in reference to you. I can't tell you all that I know within, what has it been, almost 55 minutes. I can't tell you all that I've learned. But I can tell you one experience has many lessons, and it's not all pointing in a specific direction like we would like things to be, simply put. So Queen of Cups, that Queen of Cups energy of yourself. Be attentive to yourself. Get to know yourself. Be more honest, truthful, and aware of yourself. And this is not an assignment that you are going to be able to fulfill this week. It's a lifetime. It says, I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with insight of awareness. Cutting cords does not always mean letting go of people out of your life. Cutting cords can also mean confirmation. I love it when I get a confirmation before I even get the words out. Cutting cords can also mean letting go of ways that you see things, and the incitement, not incitement, but the incitement that you relate certain experiences to one size fit all be. So they want you to let go of the guilt of how you have falsified your own story within the fact that you didn't even realize that you were falsifying your own story. The fact that you knew that you were falsifying your own story. The fact that others accepted that story, it did not have the expectation of you to dive deeper. For you, I'm hearing Kenny Lattimore, for you I will. For you, you should deep dive, even if others do not require it. Because this is not about others. This is about you being you and being honest about you. Now, everything that I shared before, we got into pulling out cards, yeah, I'm going to deep dive with it. And if I come up with anything further, which I'm sure that there was a lot that I left out, I know I'm going to be called to this table. I know. Ooh, King of Swords. Because Spirit say, no, we putting a lot of stuff on Front Street. And it doesn't have to matter. Just like I said, I don't care who stay at the end of these reads. It doesn't have to matter to anybody but me. My spirit feels free doing this. My spirit, it's a weight lifted off. The fluids, like I said earlier, releasing my body of those fluids, those unnecessary attachments. Because me being like this has worked for so long. I'm going to get frustrated and pissed off if it doesn't continue to work. Nope. Shine a light on it and let that shit go, because it's no longer necessary. So, entail of you, that could be 5 different ways I could see the word entail. Anyway, so in regards to you and your entail, be truthful, be honest, be discerning, practice your discipline, assert your discipline, keep it real, be truthful, be honest, and no fugazi. Because you are the way, you are the rite of passage. So yep, I'm gonna go over that. I'm gonna go over so much about myself. No matter how ugly it gets. The Spirit is saying you should definitely do the same. And I'm gonna post this read regardless of, matter of fact, I don't even know that I'm gonna listen to this read. I'm just gonna put it out there. And whomever finds a message in it or accepts a message in it, baby, that's for you. But here with this King of Swords, it's a lot to focus on. It's a lot to focus on, and seeing the hawk right there, the receiving of the messages, noticing how the tree right here is standing still while the other ones seem like they're being blown in a certain directions, even realizing that the clouds seem to be completely different. How the grounds is divided. Don't allow your life to be presented in a way that you feel that you need it to be of somebody else's importance more than it is of your own importance. Spirit says, shut up. Okay, 2121. Energy level. That day you are waiting for will come. Maintain discipline. You're getting closer to your end goal. There's no need to overextend yourself. Guard your energy to remain focused. It will pay off. It's a climb, not an elevator ride. Trust in you. Rose, I love and I adore you. I want to keep on pulling cards. I do. And then it says, ooh, way shower. Oh, discern, defend, usher, decide. Rose, I love you and I adore you. But okay. These ones. Illness and marriage. Ah, okay, this is gonna have to be the next read. So if you're interested, be expecting it. But yep. Rebels, I love you and I adore you, but you gotta go live your life and go make it do what it needs to do for you, babe. Go Rebels.